Ooh, what's good, Commanders fans? Quick video here. The Washington Commanders made a roster move. They signed cornerback Kavon Seymour to the practice squad. He did play with the Ravens. He's 30 years old, 6 feet tall, 188 pounds. Played in 64 games, but primarily used on special teams the past 2 seasons with the Ravens per Ben Standig. He played with the Bills, played with the Eagles, primarily more of a slot corner. So I'm not going to act like I know who this guy is. I'm going to do some reading here, just some stats, his draft profile. He did go to USC. That's where he played college football in Southern California. He also was a high school All-American. He did play in that U.S. Army All-American game. And he just had a couple injuries at USC where he just didn't really reach his full potential. But he's been in and out of the league. He's bounced from practice squad to practice squad. But primarily, he's been more of a special teams guy. I did see there's a highlight that I watched of Kavon Seymour where he recovered a muff punt where he was with the Ravens against the Steelers, and he returns, actually it was a fumble punt, but he returns the fumbled punt to the Steelers' 5-yard line where he almost gets a touchdown. He gets to like the 5-yard line. And then also in the preseason game where we played the Ravens, where we broke their streak, he did a good job defending Dyami Brown in the preseason, which is, I'm not going to act like that's a tall task defending Dyami Brown. No disrespect to Dyami Brown. I like Dyami Brown. But Kavon Seymour did a good job defending Dyami Brown on a pass from Sam Howell to Dyami Brown. He made a nice pass deflection. But let's look at some numbers here for Kavon Seymour. So I know a lot of people were asking in my stream. A couple people last night were in my stream, a live stream, and they asked about Xavier Howard. And, we know the legalities going on with Xavier Howard. So we all know that that's not really going to happen. I want to say J.C. Jackson is still available. I don't think that's going to happen. Patrick Peterson is just old, and I don't see them really trading for a cornerback. You look at the rest of the roster, and you look at how bad Michael Davis was. Like, if Michael Davis would have played well on Sunday or at least been solid, I don't think they even would have signed a guy to the practice squad. Now, I get Emmanuel Forbes is out, but even he's supposed to be coming back sooner than later because they didn't put him on injury reserve. So they think he's going to be back maybe in like 2 to 3 weeks. But Michael Davis played so bad to the point where, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they cut him. But we're just so dire at the cornerback spot. It's like you got to keep Michael Davis on the roster. You don't have to keep him on the roster, but I see why they're keeping him, just because they need bodies out there. They do have Bobby Price, who they elevated to the active roster. Bobby Price, I don't think he played at all. Look at the snaps real quick if I can bring that up. And then I'm going to do a quick deep dive into Kavon Seymour as much as we can with the information that I was able to scrounge up about Kavon Seymour. But where's Bobby Price at? I don't even think he played a snap, honestly. But I know he was signed to the active roster. Nick Bellore played. Fedarian Mathis played. Johnny Newton played 12 snaps. Where is Bobby Price at? Yeah, Bobby Price is not even on the snap count. I mean, Colson Yankiv is on the snap count for like 12 snaps for special teams. But Bobby Price is not on the Tyler Owens played, apparently. No, Bobby Price had 8 snaps. He had 8 snaps. I think they were on special teams. Tyler Ott had 7 snaps. So, yeah, Bobby Price probably had like 8 special team snaps out there. I think he maybe had like 1 or 2 actual defensive snaps. But let's get back to Kavon Seymour. So, Kavon Seymour, I did a little research on him and his story. So, he was signed to the practice squad for the Eagles in 2020. There was a couple injuries at their cornerback spot for the Eagles, and he was actually a tire salesman when he was out of the league. He was out of the league because of a couple injuries. He just got cut by teams here and there, and he was actually working at a tire store in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's on Wikipedia, and there's actually a YouTube video. The news talking about how he was a tire salesman, and people make jokes about guys who are not in the league in preseason who get cut for the 53-man roster, saying that they're going to be insurance salesmen and tire salesmen. So no disrespect to Kavon Seymour, he was out there getting it how he can and, trying to make a living. So I respect that for sure. So I'm happy to see that he's back in the league in some way, somehow, some type of capacity. You look at the numbers here, some of the advanced stats for Kavon Seymour. In 2021, that's when he had the real legitimate snaps, not just special teams, but he was out there playing corner. Look at some of the numbers. Quarterbacks against Kavon Seymour were 24 for 30. They had an 80% completion rate against Kavon Seymour, which is pretty awful on Kavon Seymour's behalf. He gave up 127.6 quarterback rating, which is pretty darn awful. And then he also gave up, he gave 127.6 quarterback rating. And then how many touchdowns did he give up? He gave up 2 touchdowns as well, which is pretty darn bad. and 34 passing attempts against him, and a 19.4% missed tackle rate as well, which is pretty darn awful. That's basically Michael Davis. That's basically what Michael Davis did the other day against Malik Neighbors. He was just getting cooked and couldn't tackle as well. His rookie year with Philly in 2020, he's 30 years old. Actually, sorry, that's not his rookie year. 2020 is not his rookie year. 2016 was his rookie year, but 2020 is when they started, tracking like advanced metrics on a Pro Football Reference. He actually had a sack. He had a sack in the 2021 season, so he did do something. He did something impactful there. 3 tackles for loss and also 25 tackles on the season, but he was getting cooked left and right while he was playing at the cornerback position. 2020 with Philly, 3 out of 4 targets were completed against him for 75%. He gave up a touchdown as well with the Philadelphia Eagles, and 156.2 quarterback rating allowed for Kavon Seymour, which is pretty darn bad. In Buffalo, he played 190 special team snaps, which is a lot. 189 special team snaps with the Panthers, that's a good amount. 159 special team snaps with the Ravens in 2021, which is a lot. And then 282 special team snaps with the Ravens. That's a lot too. And then 155 special team snaps with the Ravens in 2023. 247 actual snaps in 2021. That's where he was really bad. And then 318 snaps where he actually played on defense with the Carolina Panthers in 2017. 284 snaps with the Buffalo Bills in 2016. Let me see if he got drafted here. He was a 6th-round pick as well. He was a 6th-round pick. 218th overall in the 2016 draft by the Buffalo Bills. And then let's look at his profile. Now, he's an athlete. He ran a 4.39 40-yard dash. He's an athlete and a half. Had a 35-inch vertical jump, which is pretty good, not too far from 40 inches. 40-inch vertical jump, I always say, if you have a 40-inch vertical jump, you can windmill a basketball, do a 360 windmill, possibly put your arm in the rim like Vince Carter. Well, Vince Carter had like a 43-inch vertical, but if you have a 40-inch vert, that's really athletic. You can windmill probably between the legs if you have a 40-inch vertical. That's very athletic. Very athletic. Like if I look at the NBA players that have 40-inch verticals, you see how athletic 40-inch vertical is. His athleticism score test was a 77, which is really good. The 2016 Combine cornerback rank, he was the 8th ranked athleticism score, which is really, really athletic. We need more athletes in the secondary for sure. Let's look at his bio real quick. Seymour, he played with Adoree Jackson at USC in 2015. In his second year as a starter, he led USC with 13 pass breakups in 2014 and intercepted his second career pass as well. The 2011 high school All-American earned the starting role as a sophomore in 2013, making 48 tackles and breaking up 7 passes. Knee and ankle injuries cost Seymour playing time in his senior season. However, so he could only start 4 times in 11 appearances, 24 tackles and 1 interception. His weaknesses are he missed 4 games due to injury and was benched before the second game of the season and never regained his spot at USC. Despite foot quickness, doesn't make as many plays on the ball as expected. Has just 3 interceptions over 3 years. Can be big boyed by physical receivers inside the routes. Allow entirely too much for catch and throw opportunities. Slightly undersized with herky-jerky change of direction as well. His strengths might have value as a gunner. Play speed is NFL caliber. So, basically he sounds like the guys that we already have. He sounds like Michael Davis. He sounds like Emmanuel Forbes, getting big boyed and can't tackle and whatnot. He basically sounds like a lot of the guys that we already have. So instead of getting like a big name guy like Xavier Howard, who's not possibly really available at this point, and J.C. Jackson, guys like that, Patrick Peterson, they decided to go get this guy on the practice squad. So they believe in getting the guys that we had, or believing in the guys that we have right now, and just getting some low key guys on the practice squad. That's basically Adam Peters' philosophy at this point. And no one guy is really going to change the trajectory of the secondary. We're just an awful secondary. It is what it is. They just got to, I don't know what to say about the secondary. I think they're a lost cause. The defensive line just has to be better and get pressure up front. But they got to tackle. A lot of it's just tackling. Like Michael Davis was terrible tackling. Jeremy Chin was terrible tackling. Ben St. Juste is like the best corner that we have on the roster right now at this point, which is not good. But, Joey Jr., he has his hands full for sure. Like Adam Peters, too, with getting this personnel better for next year with the draft and free agency. We got to spend some money on the quarterback position and spend some draft capital on the quarterback position. But that's about it for Kavon Seymour. I'll probably put up the video where the news talked about him being a tire salesman and him working his way back into the league. 30 years old, like I said, 6 feet, 188 pounds. Let's see what this guy can do. And let's see if he actually plays. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays because they had to elevate Bobby Price. And we're just so bare at the cornerback position. He really might play. Like, he really might play. And when he was with the Panthers, he got traded to the Panthers for wide receiver Kalen Clay. That was back in 2017. Just reading some more notes about Kavon Seymour. So, all right, you guys let me know what you guys think. If there's anything else that you have heard about Kavon Seymour, anything that you guys stood out to you guys about Kavon Seymour. Should they have tried to get another corner, like a notable corner or anything like that? Or should they bring in another edge rusher if there's one available? There's really not many available at this point. But you guys let me know what you guys think about the cornerback room as well. Should they release Michael Davis? Hell's Commanders, as always. Peace.